Wendy, who was on the side, could only learn something, closed her eyes and gently licked on the urinal. Barena Wei's expression was very ugly, black and green, looking at Boyu, begging, "Boyu, we have already licked it, can you let us go?" Boyu turned his head and looked at Charlie. "Mr. Wade, what do you think?" Charlie hugged his arms and sneered, "This is too foolish, right? Just stick your tongue? What a joke." Boyu hurriedly asked, "Mr. Wade, what do you mean?" Charlie pointed to the 16 urinals in 2 rows, and said, "In this way, let them lick 8 of them, and distribute them fairly. No one suffers. Each one must be licked from the inside out." "It won't work." Everyone present was stunned. Mr. Wade is too cruel. 1 person licks 8 urinals? This urinal is an imported Kohler urinal. It is very large and stylish. It is almost 1 meter high, not to mention licking 8. Even if they lick 1, they will have to smash people to death, licking 8. When Barena Wei heard this, Wendy broke down. Wendy burst into tears and begged Charlie on her knees. "Charlie, anyway, you are also my brother-in-law. For the sake of my youth and ignorance, let me go this time?" Barena Wei also folded his hands together and kept begging, "Mr. Wade, you have a lot of ways, please give me a way to survive." Charlie nodded and said, "I've given you a way to survive. I will let you go immediately after licking 8. Barena Wei's expression was even uglier than his dead father, and he cried and said, "Mr. Wade, 8 are too many, and 1 is so big. No one can stand this stuff." "Oh, can't stand it?" Charlie smiled, and said to Uncle, "Call Mr. Orville and bring these 2 people to his dogfighting ring. Like the Hong Kong Mr. Lai, chop up and feed them to dogs." Boyu nodded immediately and said, "Okay, Mr. Wade." At the beginning, the liar from Hong Kong, the feng shui master named Lai, was exposed because he lied to the eldest, and was directly fed the dog by Mr. Orville. Mr. Orville didn't do this kind of thing once or twice. He was already familiar with it. When Barena Wei and Wendy heard this, they were frightened. At this time, how dare the 2 of them bargain? Barena Wei, who has the strongest desire for survival, blurted out, "I lick. I lick. I will lick." After finishing speaking, he immediately rushed to the urinal in front of him, stuck out his tongue and licked it to resist the nausea. The pungent smell made him vomit while licking, but he didn't dare to delay any time. For fear of being dragged to feed the dog, he could only bite the bullet and continue to lick. Wendy was so sad that she cried, holding the urinal and licking it. Charlie said at this time, "Wendy, this row has been claimed by Barena Wei. You are licking it now to help him. The row you have to lick is behind you." Wendy cried loudly. It turned out that it was licked in vain just now, so she could only cry while crawling to the back row, holding the urinal and licking it. This is really the biggest humiliation she has suffered in her life, and the worst torture she has suffered in her life. Charlie didn't want to stay here to appreciate their performance art, and told Boyu, "Remember, you must let them lick clean before letting them go." Boyu quickly said, "Mr. Wade, don't worry, I will look at them personally." Charlie nodded, turned directly onto the private elevator, and went to the 18th floor. Boyu personally sent him off, not daring to be disrespectful. When Charlie was about to get on the elevator, Boyu said nervously, "Mr. Wade, what happened just now is really because of my impropriety. It must have irritated you, and I hope you can forgive me." Charlie said indifferently, "Give me a good look at those 2 people, as long as they lick carefully and cleanly, then forget about it." Boyu hurriedly nodded, "Mr. Wade, please rest assured, even if they dare to miss 1 spot, I will kill them." As he said, he couldn't help but begged, "Mr. Wade, there is another plea from me." Charlie said lightly, "Say it." Boy Yu hurriedly bowed respectfully. Mr. Wade, what happened just now? Please don't tell Missy. Your great kindness, I will remember it for life. In the final analysis, Boy Yu is nothing more than a servant and a courtier of the Song family, and Charlie is a guest of the Song family desperately trying to fudge. If Warnya knows what happened just now, she will definitely punish him and even take his job as a steward. Charlie also knew that Boy Yu himself was not wrong. It was just being used by others. Seeing that his attitude was very correct, he nodded and said, "Okay, I will help you this time for the time being. Anything to do, don't blame me for being rude to you." Boy Yu immediately thanked him and said, "Mr. Wade, please rest assured that I will definitely draw a clear line with this kind of person in the future. If there is another time, I will break his legs." "Yeah." Charlie nodded faintly, waved his hand, and said, "Okay, you go." Only then did Boy Yu worshipped and said, "Thank you, Mr. Wade."